Hey, welcome back to Black Cat Crypto Club. My name is Drake. Now, today we're going to get into a cryptocurrency called Solana. Now, if you're new here or you're watching this video and you haven't seen my video that I did yesterday on Ethereum, you really should jump back over and watch that video because like I mentioned there, most of the information in that video applies to Solana, and I won't be going over that again in this video. So that said, I want to get into some specifics with Solana and why I'm so excited about Solana and all of the use cases. This is a cryptocurrency that has become the cryptocurrency that I use most every single day. Without fail, I am using Solana every single day. So I'm really excited about this project. And, nothing takes the number one spot from me or for me from Bitcoin. But this is the project that I'm most excited about, to be honest. So first off, let's start with a comparison of a few areas where it does basically the same thing that Ethereum does. I'm going to get into a few comparisons with Ethereum. So first of all, number one would be speed and cost. Now, Solana costs a fraction of a cent to send and transact with, whereas Ethereum, lately, I've seen gas fees being $2 to $15. And Solana's network processes more than 2,600 transactions per second, while Ethereum does about 15 transactions per second. Now, Ethereum is still pretty fast, but depending on network traffic, it can take slightly longer than Solana, which is pretty much instant. And the second area that I want to do some comparison on is in staking. Now, staking is when you put your coins, if you've bought Solana, you put your coins up into a staking contract, and you help run the Solana network in doing so. And you end up getting a percentage in rewards for doing that. Now, to run your own validator or node on Ethereum, it takes 32 Ethereum. And as of yesterday, that was about $110,000 or $111,000. Now, with Ethereum, if you have a smaller amount, you have $10 or $100 or whatever in Ethereum, you can stake that Ethereum. You just can't run your own validator. And I will show you guys how to stake smaller amounts of Ethereum in the next video in the how-tos. But with Solana, I actually haven't gotten into running my own validator on Solana, because there's just simpler ways to stake, and you can actually spread your stake over 100 validators really, really easily. And that kind of helps keep the network decentralized, which is a plus. Meanwhile, you get to earn over 8% on your Solana on top of whatever Solana price does. You're earning 8% extra. And, comparing that to Ethereum, currently your best, at best, you're probably getting, anywhere from 3 to 4% on your Ethereum when you stake it. And I think staking on Coinbase with Ethereum is actually even a little bit lower. It's about 2.9% right now. So you might be saying, well, Drake, why would I even bother with Ethereum? And I'm not trying to talk down on Ethereum. Like I said, I still own quite a bit in Ethereum, and I still think it's a good cryptocurrency and a good one to get into. But the first reason for it still being a good position to be in is Ethereum is the king of decentralized finance, DeFi. And it's going to take quite a lot to dethrone it from that position. So Ethereum, from a pure investment standpoint, is still a great option. And it's really going to do some good things this cycle. The second reason is that there's several ETFs, Ethereum ETFs. We just saw Bitcoin ETFs approved in January, and it's been a massive success and has done, I mean, it's taken Bitcoin's price from like 45 to over 60 now. So, you know, the ETFs are a really great driver in price because it finally opens up this whole new class of investors. But we have several Ethereum ETFs that are due to be approved this year. And if anything like the Bitcoin ETFs, this is going to be a really good thing for Ethereum as an investment. The third reason Ethereum is still a valid investment is that Ethereum developers are actively working on scalability issues. You know, they're working on the fact that their network is slower and that it's more costly to send and transact with. And they have put an update out there, and it's due to go live next month. And this will make the network faster and cheaper. And the fourth reason, comparatively to Solana, Ethereum is a good investment. Solana has, even though it's faster and cheaper, it has seen some network outages. And we've seen one just recently, a few weeks ago. And really, Ethereum hasn't had that kind of struggle with their network. So Ethereum, still a good thing to look into, in my opinion. Now, as far as Solana outages go, the developers seem to have greatly improved in this area. Solana did, like I say, see about a 5-hour outage a few weeks ago. But interestingly, the price of Solana that day didn't hardly react at all. And normally we would see a massive dip in price if a network went down, which I kind of see as Solana holders having, you know, just how much belief they have in the promises and the use of Solana's network. Now, not so long ago, Solana was plagued with these outages, and the network transaction success rate was not great. So I don't really trade in and out of cryptocurrencies often. I'm much more of a buy and hold, or in cryptocurrency, we say hodl. But I'm much more of a buy and hold kind of person. But in October of 2023, just 4 or 5 months ago, I did sell off one of my cryptos that I was in entirely and got into Solana. And one of the big reasons is this chart that I want to show you guys. I'm going to jump over there right now. So this is kind of a dashboard on the network of Solana. Kind of shows you, there's several graphs on this page that you can kind of go in and look at and see what what the network of Solana is doing. But this one shows transactions per second, which is in the green. And we've gone, this is on the 3-month. So we've gone from like transactions of $4,000 or 4,000 transactions per second. But you can kind of see we kind of average out at about that 26,000 or 2,600 transactions per second, like I was saying. But that's not what I really wanted to show you guys in this graph. This purple line is what is really interesting. And this is one of the big reasons that I sold my other cryptocurrency and I got into Solana. And you're probably going, well, what's so interesting about that? It's just a flat line, right? But this is the success rate. And you can see this success rate is nearly 100%. And if you scroll over it, you can see the success rate is, 99.98, 99.9, really close to 100% anyway. But if we go here and we go all time on Solana's network, you'll look back and you'll see this. And this is not great. Like if you go into some of these low areas, if I can get it to pop up, we are, anyways, we're really, God, that doesn't even show it. Anyways, it's about a 75 or 72% success rate in some of these areas, which is horrible, really, if you think about it. 1 in 4 transactions failing is not great. And it's not a detrimental thing. It's more of an annoyance because 1 in 4 transactions that you make on Solana, you're going to have to redo and hope it goes through. So all of this whole time in Solana's history, the network just wasn't there until right here. And I don't know what they did, but they fixed it. And this was about mid-October. And it was right then. For some reason, I had my eye on Solana. I have no idea why. I think, I had started to see some of the projects being built on Solana. And so I was kind of watching it. But it was right here. And I saw this graph and I decided I need to get into that. So, yeah, I got into that. Now, I'm going to jump over to another few graphs that shows uptime on Solana. And like you can see, February 6th, we had a major outage for 5 hours, 4 hours and 46 minutes. And this is not great. But I will say, even though we've had one in the last few weeks, they've greatly improved in this area. I'm going to jump over and show you guys kind of the beginning of Solana. And we were out for like a week at a time here in January of 22. So the network has definitely improved quite a bit. Now, another reason I decided to move some of my other cryptocurrencies into Solana was these new projects and use cases that I just kept seeing pop up constantly. And the first was the Solana Saga mobile phone. And I saw this phone come out I saw that it was coming out in early 2023. And I was intrigued because I had kept telling people, if Apple built a phone that had a secure crypto wallet, I would be the first in line to buy it. But at the time that Solana's phone was coming out, I wasn't really familiar with Solana, and I ultimately decided I'd kind of wait and see, which ended up being a big mistake, and I'm kind of kicking myself for it now. Now, initially, when the Saga first came out, a lot of people seemed to take the approach that I decided to take and kind of wait and see. And the Saga only sold about 2,500 of their 20,000 run of phones that they made. And, you know, it ended up looking, they cut prices from $1,100 price tag on that phone down to $600, and it still just wasn't taken off. So it looked like a pretty big failure until about mid-December. And that's when users of the Saga phone really started seeing some big airdrops. And airdrops are kind of a way that certain projects can reward people that are using things that they, you know, it's a rewards program for using some kind of service or whatever. So we saw this airdrop, this big airdrop in December, that people that owned Saga were just dropped this cryptocurrency into their phone wallet. And suddenly the owners were receiving airdrops that amounted to more than what the phone cost them to buy. And so the phones just flew off the shelves. I mean, within like a day or a few days, they completely sold that 20,000, the rest of that 20,000 phones that they made. And because owners could buy the phone, claim the airdrops, sell the airdropped crypto, and make more money on the phone than it cost them to buy. So I'm going to jump over to a quick clip kind of showing that concept.
Why the heck are all these Solana degens going and buying the Solana Saga? I literally just bought the phone and it cost me $645. The bonk alone I get is worth $670. Is rumored to get more airdrops just like bonk. Is Solana's first phone ever created. So it's a piece of Solana history, and also this is a very secure phone when it comes to Web3 technologies.
So I missed out on that opportunity, and I was kicking myself for it. And a few weeks later, there was news that Solana was doing pre-orders for a second generation phone called Chapter 2. And I jumped on and pre-ordered that the first day it was in pre-order, which this will be the first brand new phone that I have bought in a little over 10 years. So it's a big deal for me. Now, 3 things with the Saga that make it the phone to have, really. The first being, I really think that the new phone will continue to be a way for developers to reward and gain loyalty of phone users. So you can look forward to the phone having perks dropped into its wallet in the future. And speaking of this, I was just looking into the wallet that I set up my pre-order for the Solana Saga the other day. And I have actually been airdropped some coins that I don't even have the phone yet, and I'm being rewarded for it, for pre-ordering it. So, you know, this definitely is going to continue to have rewards dropped into it going into the future. The second reason is that the phone has a secure crypto wallet and seed vault, which keeps your cryptocurrencies at immediate access in your phone and provides really good security to keep your wallet safe. Now, it's not as good of security as a completely cold wallet that is air-gapped off of the internet and all of that, but that's for a future video, really. Right now, with that said, there's this video. This is from iJustine. And I'm going to jump over to her video because she was lucky enough to get one of the first sagas, and she does a really good job in explaining this security of the phone and the wallet and everything. So I'm going to jump over to that.
All right, it's all set up. Definitely excited to test this out further. Now, one of the problems that I've run into, and if you are also into NFTs or crypto, is how difficult and not secure things are to transact on mobile. Now, most of the time you do need a desktop or you need to have a wallet app browser, and it's super frustrating to try to navigate. And it's also not entirely secure. Now, I mostly use a cold storage hardware wallet for a lot of my larger transactions, which adds another entire layer of complication to things, especially if I don't have my ledger with me. Now, what I do like about the Saga is that they are introducing a seed vault, so your Solana private keys and seeds are stored securely protected by a dedicated hardware security module called a secure element. Now, when you're using any decentralized apps, their mobile wallet adapter can be used for signing transactions. Keys and seeds are only used to sign transactions, so your keys are never actually shared with Solana apps or Android to keep you safe.
Now, if you're new into crypto, that's going to sound like a lot. Seeds and phrases and seed phrases and keys and wallets and, vaults. But stick with it. It's going to take a little bit of time to kind of get the lingo down and kind of really understand what all of that is. But essentially what she was saying there is, and she was showing that the Saga phone really takes security of your cryptocurrencies to a whole new level on your phone. So getting back, the third reason why this Saga phone is the phone to have is that it comes with a dApp store, or a decentralized app store. Now, I will show you some dApps and how to use them and why in the next video on the how-tos. But not only is this helpful for users like myself, but it is absolutely huge for developers. And that's because app developers on the Google Play Store and the Apple App Store are taxed massively by Apple and Google. And some of these developers are taxed so much that it forces their business to fail. So just to kind of compare apps to real world businesses and stores, real world stores often struggle with the 3.5% that Visa and MasterCard charges them. Apps, on the other hand, are charged 30% by Apple and Google. So just massive, like 10% of what, normal everyday stores are charged in fees from, these big card companies. Apple and Google are charging 30%. That's a third of their business goes straight to Apple and Google. So decentralizing app stores removes those predatory fees and enables developers to pass those savings ultimately on to us. And so another big win for the underdogs there. Now, I will say that the Chapter 2 isn't scheduled to ship out. Like I said, it's in pre-order right now. It's not scheduled to ship out until 2025. But where they struggled to sell 20,000 phones just 2023, they've already sold over 100,000 in pre-orders. And it's worth noting that this phone can be used on any carrier. So if you're on Verizon or AT&T, any provider, you can use this phone on that network. Now, right now, the pre-orders are in an early adopter window, which will cost you it'll cost you $500 to pre-order the Saga 2, the Chapter 2 today. And that will definitely increase when that early adopter window closes. So if you're interested in getting into this phone, check out my referral link. I'll leave in the description. I also have that link listed on my YouTube channel main page. But by using that referral code, not only will I'll be available, or I'll be eligible for rewards, but you using that referral code will also be able to cash in on some rewards that they'll be dropping to people who used referral codes. So just keep that in mind. If you're interested in getting into it, please, keep me in mind for that. So the second project I want to get into on Solana that really impressed me was another phone project, coincidentally, called Helium Mobile. Now, where the Solana Saga is a physical phone, Helium Mobile is a decentralized phone service, a decentralized phone network. And so what that means is, yes, you've got this centralized company called Helium Mobile, but the network itself is decentralized, and any regular Joe can go out and buy the equipment and set it up and provide network coverage and get paid. And there are people out there that have turned this into businesses, into full-time jobs. So again, I would much prefer paying for my cell service. I would much prefer paying regular working class people than I would the AT&Ts and the Verizons of the world. Now, that said, Helium does have some sort of arrangement with T-Mobile and Telefonica in Mexico to allow users to access those networks when they're not within range of Helium network services, which this is kind of crucial, and it's really nice, especially in these early days when Helium network is being established and built, because if you're like me and you're out in the country in the middle of nowhere, you will still have service. Even if you can't connect to the Helium network, you're still going to have service through T-Mobile. And this brings me to another point. I just saw a post from the animal sanctuary that I'm going to be helping promote this month. And they were talking about them being located out in the middle of nowhere and their phones don't always get service. But now with Helium, if they chose to, they could own their own equipment and provide their own cell phone service. And they'd get paid by providing this network. So just kind of crazy. Now try doing that with AT&T or Verizon. Go in and ask them if you can set your own network up. Not likely, guys. Now, I wasn't paying a lot for cell service before this because I was on a group plan with my sister and her family. And after taxes, I was paying about $40 a month to AT&T. But before, when I was on my own, I was paying upwards of $150 a month. I switched over to Helium at the beginning of this year, and the plan comes to $21 and change after taxes and fees. There's no contract. It's got unlimited talk and text and 30 gigs of data, which I'm on Wi-Fi at home, but even when I go out and I'm using data, I rarely reach even 2 gigs. So this is more than enough for me. But the real deal maker is with Helium is the mapping rewards. And that is, if I go out twice a day and I drive a minimum of about, from what I can tell, about a block. And for most people, they meet this simply by driving to and from work. But if I do that twice a day, I get paid for that. And the idea behind this is that you're providing Helium with data on where their customers need service. And so they can turn around and they can incentivize these other people who are providing the network or who are going out and putting up devices and providing the actual network. They can incentivize them to put up these devices in the areas that they need, where they see their customers are going and need service. So first of all, I saved $20 on my cell phone bill just for switching over because I was paying $40. Now I'm paying $20 on this new phone bill. And then on top of that, I ended up making almost $80 in rewards. And there were some days where I didn't leave the house and I didn't get my rewards for some days. And I still made $80 in rewards in the month of January. So ultimately, in January, I paid nothing for cell phone service, and then I got paid $60 on top of that. So I went from paying $40 to earning $60. That's a $100 spread every month. So I don't know, guys. As far as service goes, I haven't noticed one bit of difference from AT&T's service. And it's worth noting that you don't need Solana phone or any special phone to really do this. You can use any unlocked phone as long as it has eSIM capabilities. And most newer phones over the last several years have this ability. If you're wondering, just get into Google and Google your phone and eSIM capabilities and you'll find your answer. But most likely if your phone's under 5 years old or so, you probably have this ability. The one minor inconvenience that I noticed with this whole Helium Mobile thing was that the setup was a little more complicated than you can't go into AT&T or Verizon normally you can go into AT&T and Verizon, throw your phone at them and say, hook me up. And you wait around for 20 minutes and they give you your phone back and you're set. With Helium, there's no store to go into. So if you don't already know how to set up your own SIM, then you need to get onto a chat in the app and have one of their service representatives walk you through how to set up that SIM. Now, I say this is a minor issue, minor inconvenience, because it really is. It's one of those very privileged things to be mad about. And that said, it was a little inconvenient, but in the end, it took about the same time that it would have taken to go into an AT&T store and have them set it up for me. I just had to kind of do it myself with, walking through these steps with somebody on the app. So after that minor inconvenience, that's the only downside I have seen about this service. The rest has been completely positive. So honestly, if you're not in a phone contract or have some other extenuating circumstance, I honestly can't see why you wouldn't decide to switch and go with Helium Mobile. And if you told me a year ago that I'd be shilling phone service, I would have called you crazy. But guys, this is a bit of a different animal. Like, the whole idea behind this, I really like the idea of supporting people rather than companies. So yes, I'm shilling this service in a way, but it's something that I really believe in, and I just find it, fascinating, and I'm glad to be a part of it. So if you want to look into Helium, I'll leave another referral link in the description that will give you $5 off your first month, taking it down from $20 to $15. And worst case scenario, you find something that you don't like about it, and I don't know what that would be, but you find something you don't like about the service. There's no contract, so you just cancel and go back to whatever other service you want. And all of this, the Helium, the Solana phone, all of this is built on top of Solana, as well as an entire DeFi platform, like I explained in the last video with Ethereum. All of this is going on Solana. And so there's just a lot going on that's really exciting on Solana's chain. There's a decentralized exchange called Jupiter, and I will teach you guys about that in the next video, because you can get on there and buy for really cheap. And it's easy. There's just a few other steps that you might have to take from Coinbase or a centralized exchange to getting into a decentralized exchange. And I'll show you all of that. But there's another project on Solana, and this is a rideshare project called Teleport. And it's a lot like Uber or Lyft, but instead of making those big monopolized companies money, Uber and Lyft, all of the fare with Teleport is paid out to the drivers. So again, this technology is empowering those underdogs. Now, Teleport isn't live everywhere yet, but once it does really catch on everywhere, I can't imagine how Uber and Lyft are going to survive. All of their drivers are going to leave and kind of start their own business with Teleport. There's also another project on Solana called Hivemapper. And this is another way that people can supplement their income if they're driving a lot, like Uber or DoorDash, or even, honestly, if you just drive a lot, you can get into Hivemapper and make some extra money just in that project alone. I won't get really into that project here, but it is a cool little project that's going on Solana. And lastly, the last one I'm really going to get into is this kind of silly little mobile game that I've been playing for a few months called Honeyland. And you kind of make your own hive of bees, and you got these bee characters that you send out every once in a while, and they go out and earn you rewards. And you can battle against other players, and, all the ins and outs of any good mobile game, really. But this is a free-to-play game. And there are things that you can buy in the game if you decide to. You can buy an NFT of a bee that has better stats than other bees that you might be able to get. And you can stake that in the game and have that bee earn you more rewards. But it's free to play, and I have been making about $3 or $4 a day with this thing. So it's fun, it's a stupid little game, but it is fun, and it's got cool little graphics, and the bees are, all cool. But it's not one of those games where it's a play to earn game, and you get on and you play for hours and you look in your wallet and you've got 2 cents. This is not what Honeyland is. Like I said, I've been making, once you get through the tutorial and really start to get into it and learn what you're doing, right now I'm making about $3 or $4 a day. And that doesn't sound huge by any means. But if you think about it, that is more than enough to pay for, say, my internet service every month. So I don't know, it's just some dumb little game to kind of pass the time when you're not doing anything. If you're interested in it, I do have another referral link for that. I don't know what this referral really gets me, but I will put it in the description, and it'll at least help you get to the game and be able to download it. So it is on Google and the Apple App Store as well. Now, getting outside of projects that are built on Solana, we're going to get back to the network. And Solana has a scaling update coming out this year. And it's called Fire Dancer. And it is going to take Solana's max transactions per second from 50,000 to over 1 million per second, which will make this is going to be huge. It's going to make Solana a more powerful network than even Visa, the card swipe company. So this is going to be absolutely massive when this drops this year. And I don't know, guys, the price of Solana, I just see, for the next 2 years, this thing is going to explode, in my opinion. So with all these positives, Solana has actually been one of the top performing cryptos over the last year. And I really see it continuing to be one of the crypto networks with the best utilities and the best opportunities out there. So with that, I'm going to wrap up this video, but I really see a lot of value in Solana, and I'm really excited. Like I said, even without my phone, I am using Solana every single day. anyways, if you guys liked anything in this video, please give me a like. I don't know what likes do for my channel, to be honest, but I do see them and it does make me feel good. So hit the like button and make sure you subscribe, because in the next video, like I said, I'm going to be doing the how-to video. And I'm going to be showing you guys some tips and tricks that is going to make buying crypto really easy and really stress-free. And there are things that it's taken me 12 years to learn. You know, for example, there's a thing that I'm going to show you in the next video that I honestly just learned this last week. So make sure you're subscribed, hit the subscribe button, share this video around to anybody that you think might find it interesting. And one last thing before I go, I'm going to hop over here. It's a new month and we've got a new animal sanctuary that we're supporting this month. This is ezsrescueranch and they are in New Jersey. Small animal sanctuary. So any little amount really goes a long way to help these guys. And, you know, you can see their PayPal address at the bottom there. You can donate directly. I will also leave that link in the description, as well as their website and their Facebook. But, you know, really, guys, this is a win-win, because donating to sanctuaries like this is going to help you reduce your tax liability as well. So go over to ezrescueranch and show them some love. But until next time, don't let the bastards get you down, and I will see you in the next video.